If you've been having some trouble finding your way this year, don't expect much help here. There hasn't been a Bassmaster event at Clark's Hill for 30 years. Everyone's pretty much on their own. Add to that a wind-blown practice and a frigid start to the tournament. You've got a real challenge in front of you.
We're going somewhere now.
And now that the season's past the halfway point,
Oh, yeah.
every fish caught is critical for making points, for gaining some ground on the field, for making the classic. If your year's been cold, now's the time to catch fire.
The CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail.
Welcome to the CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail for 2005. We had a whale of a tournament last week in Guntersville, Alabama. That was the halfway point of the season. We're into the second half of the regular season right now as we enter into this tournament on Clark's Hill Reservoir. Let's take a look at our Angler of the Year race, Takahiro Omori. Based on that first win, the first event of the year, he's the man on top, but Skeet Reese is not far behind. Gerald Swindle, Terry Scroggins doing good outside of his home state. We got a heck of a race going on, and it just gets tighter and tighter as we go along. Coming to you from the state of Georgia, right there on the border with South Carolina. That's where the Savannah River is, and that's where we find Clark's Hill Reservoir. Take a look at it there. You can find a lot of places to fish on a lake like that. I'm Tommy Sanders. Jerry McInnes is out at the lake and sitting in for Jerry in the analyst spot here. The all-time leading money winner with bass and the host of School by Denny Brower. Denny Brower's here. We're going to get some three-man teamwork going, right, Denny?
Well, I appreciate that, Tommy. This is going to be an absolutely awesome tournament, a huge lake. There should be some good fish caught.
And we mentioned the guys haven't been here since 1975. That was 30 years ago, so nobody's got the upper hand as far as prior knowledge goes, right?
And that means a lot. It really does. Some of these guys, when we go back time after time after time to the same lakes, they start to think they own a certain section of that lake, or they start to think there's only one area you can catch fish. Nobody really knows here. They don't know whether it's going to be the clear water. They don't know whether it's going to be the dirty water. It's going to be interesting.
Angler of the Year points get more and more important with every cast you make when we get down to this third, fourth, fifth, and sixth tournaments. Right?
Well, it really does. And, you know, something else we have working for us this year, and folks, you might keep this in mind, these folks are qualifying for 2 classics, and that puts even more pressure on them. And, you know, we got 2 tournaments left. This is the 4th one, 2 after that. Things are starting to tighten up.
Starting time for the E50 race as well. We'll get into all of that a little bit later, but let's get out and take a look at what happened day 1 of this tournament. Take a look at the crowds here. We have certainly had some pent-up demand for bass fishing. And on the first day of competition, take a look. Frank Ippoliti from Smithville, Maryland.
Bam! 26 pounds, 7 ounces.
That is impressive, and check this out right here. The tribute to Doak Walker, Mr. Touchdown right there, Denny.
That's scary stuff right there. He has not won the tournament yet. You need to wait till after you win to do something like that.
That's always pretty good advice out here, because this year especially we see anglers subject to catching a good bag on one day. They come back and almost 0 on the next day.
Some of that, Tommy's been the cold water. Something else, folks, to keep in mind is changing weather conditions. We've had clear skies. We've had cloudy days. When it changes, your fish are liable to move.
Well, the weather changed and the leaderboard changed on day 2.
20 pounds, 7 ounces, and you, my friend, got what you need.
Guy Eaker, the veteran, in there with the lead on day number 2. Guy Eaker, who is having a terrific season. He's already made 1 top 6 this year. Of course, we cut the field down to 12 on this second day to fish for the final 6 spots. And you'll notice, as we look at that top 12, a couple of classic winners, former classic winners in there, Kevin VanDam and Larry Nixon. Here's another classic champ, Mike Iaconelli.
What this is right here is a classic pre-spawn area. What you have is you have a creek channel that runs into the back of these pockets. That's where they're going to spawn. That's where they were. And this is where they have to stop on the way in. Come on, fish, let's go. So it's real textbook pre-spawn area. I mean, what we're doing with these baits is we're trying to trigger the fish and biting. Water temperature is 47 degrees, and you see me jerking that rod real violently. And what that's doing is making the crankbait snap out of the grass. And that's it's basically forcing the fish to bite, you know? So these aren't hungry fish.
Well, Iaconelli is 15 minutes from the takeoff. He's fishing grass with a crankbait. There's a saddle in between that island and the bank. That is the sweet spot. The locals call this Georgia Flat. And we all sit, wait patiently for a big fish to make Mike go Iaconelli on us.
He must not have been hooked. You just let go of it. God, no. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, Lord, please bless me with this fish. This is the biggest fish I've caught all week. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Now that's the best, baby! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! I'm all tangled up and I love it. So my shoe and my hat, the glasses fell off. Yeah! That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2003 CITGO Bassmaster Classic champion, Mike Iaconelli. 14 pounds and 4 ounces takes the top spot. Hook it up, Trip. 14 pounds, 9 ounces, and a brand new leader out of Mike Iaconelli.
3 days efficient and 3 different leaders. That's the way it's going here at Clarks Hill. Mike Iaconelli would certainly like to have a win here, but he also has an important long-range plan.
I'm not thinking about winning this tournament. I'd love to. I'm thinking about making that classic. You know, that's my goal, is to make that classic. This finish is going to help if I win this or not, you know, so I'm really focused. I'm in, you hear athletes talk about getting in the zone, and fishermen are athletes just like other sports, and I'm in the zone, baby.
Ike in the zone, Ike in the lead. Our field is set for the final championship day. Mike Iaconelli on top. There's Mike Reynolds right behind him. David Wharton, the only man from the bottom tier of the top 12 to move up into that Super 6. And, of course, Frank Ippoliti, no fish on day number 3 after that super bag on day number 1 doesn't even make the Super 6. And if you could have day 1 over again, you'd be in the Super 6, Denny Brower. You had a tremendous second day.
Oh, Tommy, I'd love to have day 1 over again. And you folks, if you've seen my show, Schooled, I would have not given myself a very good grade in decision making because I made a lot of poor decisions the first day. The second day, I made a lot of the right moves, ended up catching like 10 keepers, but too little, too late.
You still want to know what your overall impression of this lake is. Again, we haven't been there in 30 years with the pros.
I love the lake. It's a big lake. You've got a lot of area to spread out. It's got 2 arms, clear water, dirty water. It's the type of lake where you can run patterns rather than just fish spots. I like it.
Going to see a lot of variety on the final day, on the championship day?
I think you will. You'll see clear water guys. You'll see dirty water guys, all kinds of techniques.
All right, it's going to be a big shake-up, too, in that Angler of the Year list after 3 days of competition. Look at it. Terry Scroggins now moves into the top spot. The man from Florida, they call him Big Show. But we got a big show on the way here, that is for sure. Going to be some more changes on this final day of competition. We'll get this championship underway when we come back.
The CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail is brought to you by CITGO and in part by Lowrance, Curalator, and Stren.
We're back from Augusta, Georgia. Well, the Masters is still a few weeks away, but we've got a heck of a tournament going on today on the CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail. Our Clarks Hill Reservoir final championship round is set to begin. Our leader, Michael Iaconelli, the 2003 CITGO Bassmaster Classic champ. Jerry McInnes is with him now.
Man, I know those Classic points are big. I know the race for the Classic is big. Iaconelli tells me, though, that that's more important than winning this tournament today. I don't believe that. I'm going to get over here and talk to him about that. Come on, Mike. The points are more important than winning this tournament?
Jerry, you know,
You want to win them both. Tell me.
I do want to win them both. You know, I mean, every angler's sight is on the Classic. Making it to Pittsburgh, that's huge. I got to admit, though, winning this would be really nice, you know? Catching 5 for me today, that's the ultimate goal.
Hey, catching one of those big fish, I know you put on a show for us, and it's an exciting thing, but this setting right here, this is a pretty exciting moment.
This is awesome, Jerry. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. The last day of the tournament, leading, going the last day. And let me tell you something. You heard people say go on Ike. If I catch a big one, I'm going Ike on him today, brother.
Okay, we're going to watch you. Good luck to you, man.
Thanks, man.
Well, as we take a look at our Super 6, one rookie in the field, a lot of veterans, and Denny Brower, I'm thinking just about everyone's got to be a little bit intimidated. Iaconelli coming into this final day with the lead and a lot of confidence.
He's got a lot of confidence, but he's got different weather today. It's calm, it's clear. I look for the dirty water guys to shine today.
All right, one of those guys could be Mike Reynolds. Mike is on his way to his fishing spot. Let's listen in.
There
we go, boys and girls. Let's get this thing done. Here we go, folks. We're on Clarks Hill Reservoir in Georgia. We're out in front of everybody. We got spectator boats behind us. It's every bass fisherman's dream. It's the ultimate. We're in the top 6. We were following Mike Iaconelli out. He's in first place. We're ounces out of first. We're right there. The adrenaline's flowing. I'm on cloud 9. It's an awesome feeling. My competitors that I'm fishing against are some of the best bass fishermen in the game. Mike Iaconelli, one of the hottest fishermen. The guy is tough. He's got a fan base. It's unbelievable. He's got a crowd following him. He's got 30 or 40 spectator boats on him. This guy is versatile. He knows what he's doing, and he's on fire right now. He's going to be hard to beat. That guy will catch fish today. Another guy I'm fishing is Guy Eaker. Experienced angler, been in this thing longer than anybody else. This guy knows the game. He's paid his dues. I respect him immensely. Jimmy Mize, another great fisherman. I just know that he's probably going to catch 15 pounds. He's very versatile. I've talked to him. I've seen him win tournaments. The man is excellent. His whole family fishes. I mean, it's just a fishing family. He'll be tough to beat. David Wharton out of Texas, another great fisherman. Don't know him real well, but I know he's a hell of a fisherman. He's been doing this stuff a long time. If you survive 158 fishermen and you end up on today, the pressure's off. It's all about having fun. But right now, we are the 6th best fishermen on the Bassmaster Tour. I love this stuff. I'm walking on air. I'm in the clouds. I don't know how to explain it. The adrenaline's rushing. It's 32 degrees outside right now. I've got no face mask on, and I'm not even cold. What can I say? I'm just fired up, ready to go fishing. Let's have some fun. Let's get this thing done. Woohoo!
One of our 6 that Mike is probably not that familiar with would be Terry Butcher, the only rookie in our top 6 as we take a look at David Wharton. Some guys are going far, some guys are staying close. David Wharton is one of the guys who was fishing close as the first flight of the day hits the water. David, of course, with a big win back in 2003 down at Toledo Bend.
Ooh, come on, babies, come on. Come on, hit my deal. Oh, no. How could that happen, man? Look at them there. They were supposed to bite my stuff. Look right there. Look at him right there. I'm looking at him. Look at that.
Right off the bat, David Wharton has run into some schooling fish, but it looks like they're all too small. He is up the Little River, and he's starting out in Hart Creek.
This is really a beautiful little spot right here. There's a row of hydrilla that runs right down the middle of this cove. And you got that little rounded point right there. It's kind of a little horseshoe shape of hydrilla right in there, and there's a little ball spot. And those fish get right in that ball spot. They come running out of that hydrilla when those shad come over the top of it. That's what you look for when you're looking for fish in hydrilla. That's a perfect deal for this time of the year.
David Wharton's going to do what it takes to get that first fish of the day in the boat.
I think it's a good deal. He's leaving them little schooling fish alone. Got the Carolina rig out, hooked up with a good fish.
David Wharton has been there and done that, 55 years old, 4 wins with the Bassmasters. He knows how to make something happen, but we got 5 other guys who are working just as hard out there, and we're going to get to them when we come back. So much more fishing left to come from Clarks Hill Reservoir. We'll be right back with the CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail. Final day, Mike Iaconelli still on top, Mike Reynolds right behind him. The CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail, our regular season is 6 events. This is event number 4. Things are getting serious here at Clarks Hill Reservoir. Mike Iaconelli, as we start this championship day, is in the lead, but just by ounces over Mike Reynolds. The angler from California would love his first Bassmasters win. Let's get out to the lake and check in with Mike now.
Coming up on this pine tree right here. Lost a really nice fish in here 2 days ago. Didn't get bit on it yesterday, but it's the perfect piece of structure to hold a bass. It sticks out a little farther. Like I said, it's a real flat bank, so anything that sticks out on a real flat bank is obviously going to have potential to hold a bass.
Spinnerbait, pretty straightforward stuff. Denny Brower, good choice to begin the day.
I think it's an excellent choice, and that's stained water. He's bringing it by the cover. There's not a lot of cover on these banks.
Runs almost 15 miles down the lake. Mike Reynolds is certainly taking advantage of that today.
There's one. It's not a big one, but it's a nice keeper. Come here, baby. Need to get started somewhere. Oh, it's a pound and a half. But I got that skunk out of the boat, boys. Come on. It feels great to have a fish in the boat. It's a small fish, but it relieves a little pressure. You know, you got to get one before you can get two, so. And you know, the bottom line is with that little bitty old fish, I was only a few ounces out of first place. As of right now, if Iaconelli hasn't caught anything, which is just probably about impossible, I'd be leading it. So, you know, you have to start somewhere. You got to take what they give you.
Oh, but Mike, sometimes you have to expect the impossible. Meanwhile, Mike Iaconelli really not having much of a day. He's had no reason to go Ike. To this point, really struggling on this championship day. Meanwhile, Guy Eaker, 65 years old, trying to be the oldest pro ever to qualify for the Classic. And Guy Eaker, all the fellas tell me, is one heck of a boat driver. He likes to take a long ride, and that's exactly what he's doing today. Over 30-plus miles into Fishing Creek there and very near the Highway 79 bridge. And you see these laydowns all over the lake, and that's what he's keying on today, apparently, Denny.
Well, there's a lot of fish in those laying down trees, and there's a lot of them around the lake, which makes it a neat pattern that you can run. And one of the things he's doing is he's taking a tube or a bait like a jig, something compact is great for these trees because you can actually get it down there and penetrate into the cover. And he's using a dark colored tube, which I love the color for that water clarity. Water's fairly dirty. He's getting it down in there, letting it free fall. Usually a 1/4 to 5/16 ounce weight in front of it. It's about the perfect weight. That'll get down there, penetrate the cover, jig it up and down a few times, and bring it back out. The one thing that bothers me a little bit, Tommy, is why he's using spinning equipment in that dirty water.
Well, I guess it would bother anybody because you think if he hooks up with a big fish there, he's going to have a hard time wrestling him out of there.
Absolutely.
That's the smallest fish I've caught since I've been here on the tube. You usually catch better fish. 1 down and 6 to go. You know, I tell you, how many times did I flip in there? Probably 25 times in that one tree before I ever got that cold water fish. You just gotta keep on, till you make him bite. 1 down, 4 to go.
Well, from a man who has been on this tour for many, many decades to a rookie, his first year on the CITGO Bassmaster Tour. This is Terry Butcher from Talala, Oklahoma. What kind of an education is this for a rookie, Denny Brower, to be in the mix on the final day of a big tournament like this?
Tremendous experience. It'll help him deal with the pressure in the future. The fact that he's had a good last day, he's going to end up with a great, great tournament. This will help his confidence a bunch.
Terry Butcher currently 5th in the Toyota Rookie of the Year race. Andre Moore, of course, was a man who was way out in front in that race, but he has faltered the last couple of tournaments. Right now, Dave Wallach has pretty much run him down. It's Terry Butcher who has the biggest chance to help himself on this final day.
That's a little better fish.
Well, as we said before, Jerry McKinnis is on the lake helping us out today. And as we switch over to Jimmy Mize, let's see what Jerry's got for us.
Well, Tommy and Denny, we are looking at Jimmy Mize, but I'm here to say that I am enjoying watching Terry Butcher fish today. You know how hard, Denny, you know this, how hard it is to survive to the final day on a tour event. Man, here it is, final day, and he's right in the mix. I am proud of him, but let's get over to Jimmy Mize now, who is jerking on a few of those bass. And I want to point something out. Every time we change from boat to boat, you're looking at the watercolor change as well. Well, at the takeoff point, way down at the end of the lake, it's very clear. And then as you go up the Savannah River or the Little River, either one, it goes from clear to off-color to muddy. Wharton started in Hart Creek. It's real clear. He will eventually end up the Little River. It'll be muddy up there. Mize is close to home, main lake, right across the lake from Iaconelli, actually. It's real clear there. Terry Butcher and Guy Eaker, Mike Reynolds, all headed up the Savannah, all for the muddy water. And as I said, Iaconelli is right across from Jimmy Mize, Georgia Flats. Nice, clear water. Now, Jimmy is basically fishing the same kind of water that Iaconelli's fishing, 4 or 5 feet deep, lots of grass. He's just doing it with a Carolina rig instead of a crankbait. He's using a lizard on his rig. And Jimmy has always been one of the more consistent anglers on the tour. In fact, he has good batting average, 475. And boy, look at this, or listen to this. He is a strong contender for the Angler of the Year.
Don't have to measure him, he will go.
I just want to get like this big old bite and put it right on TV and just be a star, man. That's what I want. Just one time, just let it out. roll a big old bass right on camera. This is a key stretch right here. I've only taken like 3 fish off of it, but they all been good. But this is the one stretch that Denny Brower pulled up on, and when the all-time money winner pulls up on a stretch, you know it's probably a pretty good spot, okay? And this was, like I said, he fished in here for about a half an hour the first day. And this is the stretch he pulled in on.
So what, was he stalking you on day one? What was happening there?
No, he really wasn't. I was fishing around the corner and actually caught 3 fish off that point. And once I got around that corner, I saw Mike actually catch a big fish. And even though he caught that big fish, I just didn't think there was enough room for 2 people to stay there. And I actually thought I had a better spot, Tommy. It wasn't me just totally being a nice guy.
He should have followed you on day 2. That's when he should have been shadowing you, right?
I caught him good then.
All right, well, let's see if he can squeeze enough out today. Let's get back out to that spot.
This one will keep. He ain't very big, man, but he's a keeper. He weighs about 1 pound, but I'm proud of him. You got to get 5 first, you know? Man, they're shrinking in here, but that's okay. Yeah, that's a bass. That's, I don't know. I'm proud of him, but he ain't exactly what I was looking for.
Here on Clark's Hill, we have a 12-inch length limit. That's a legal bass right there. And hey, little bass add up. Look what it's done for Mike Reynolds there. He's now on top of the leaderboard. And Mike Iaconelli, who started the day in the lead, well, he slipped all the way into 4th place. Mike, well, I know he's struggling right now. He's just about ready to do anything.
Come on, be suspended. Do something. Tell me something. Whatever you want to do, I'll do. Come on.
The final day, we are down to the Super 6, the final 6 anglers in contention for the championship. The CITGO Bassmaster Tour event on Clark's Hill Reservoir, Augusta, Georgia. Right now, Mike Reynolds has taken over the lead. Mike Iaconelli, who started the day with the lead, has faded considerably. Right now, let's take it out to David Wharton. He started in the 6th position. He's got the most work to do today, but he's getting the job done. David Wharton, the top 20 anglers in all-time money winnings, get to qualify for the Elite 50 competition. David Wharton is in 19th position right now. And right now, we're looking at a crowd of boats around the man who, no matter how he finishes today, is going to move into the 20th position on that Elite 50 all-time money standings. Mike Iaconelli and Denny Brower, what effect could having a huge flotilla of boats behind you have on your fishing?
Well, Mike's fishing a shallow saddle right there between them 2 islands, and if those boats were up on top, it could really affect it. But boy, they're being great. They're staying back. They're staying out of his road. One thing about bass fishing, it's got the greatest fans in the world.
Yeah. Something definitely changed. It's unbelievable to me. I haven't been biting almost 3 hours. It's just not, that's not right. Something's up. Come on, be suspended. Do something. Tell me something. Whatever you want to do, I'll do. Come on. I'll go to my best spot and try to figure them out, and hopefully be able to duplicate that in these other places. I guess it's one of my best bets right now, is to try to do that. They suspended or they went down to the bottom and just got real inactive. One of the 2. We got baits for both of those situations, so no big deal. You got to figure it out.
Well, Denny, I guess pretty much everybody's been there. You have a great day on a spot, as Mike Iaconelli did on day number 3. You go back and things just aren't happening, and it goes on and on and on, and nothing happens, and then you kind of kick into that panic mode, right?
Well, Mike had totally the wrong day for what he was doing. It got calm out, clear skies. Those grass fish kind of bury up. They weren't coming up and getting that crankbait. What bothered me is he tried to do the same thing in other places. Maybe it was time to switch gears, go find dirty water, pick up a spinnerbait, try something else. You're in position to win, you got to capitalize.
Out now to Guy Eaker. Now, Guy Eaker is struggling today. He's only got 1 fish in the boat, but he's still fishing those laydowns, and he's traded in, apparently, Denny, spinning tackle for a regular casting deal.
I think that's a good move. He needs bigger fish. Bait casting will help him get those bigger fish out of the cover. I love what he's doing right now. In dirty water, a lot of those fish will suspend off the bottom on the ends of those laying down trees, and that spinnerbait slow roll down the end will get him into that strike zone, and boy, he's hooked up with a good fish.
Again, the day is wearing on, and Guy only has 1 fish in the boat. Could he be a victim of the same thing that Mike Iaconelli is going through? He had such a good day at the same spot before. He is reluctant to diversify, to go try any other place. He's got to hit those same spots again.
Oh, absolutely. He's got so much confidence in a few little areas. It's tough to leave those areas, but boy, if you want to win, you got to expand.
Well, fellas, Guy is expanding a little bit. He was by the Fish Creek Bridge. In fact, he caught several good fish off that bridge in the qualifying days. That one, like you said, Denny, came off of a sunken treetop.
You just never know when that big one's gonna bite. Happen any time.
Well, Terry Butcher is fishing actually in the southernmost part of the lake. They're in the Maddox Creek arm of Big Creek.
Yeah, you just never know. Oh. You just never know. He ain't big, but he's a keeper.
You never know, that is for sure. Terry Butcher, the first rookie we've had in the Super 6, and now the first rookie to lead in a tournament so far this year, takes the lead away from Reynolds.
God, once, oh man, I got an itchy trigger finger this morning, I'll tell you. I'm ready. I mean, I am so ready. Something breathes on my lure, I'm gonna stick him.
Mike Reynolds was ready for a better year in 2005. 2004 was a nightmare for him, but he is doing great this year. Also in 13th place now in the standings to make it into the Elite 50.
It's the one we need, boys. Oh yeah, we're going somewhere now. Come on, let's hear it. Yeah, 3 pounds. Blind in one eye. Check it out. He can't see in one eye. I'm glad I got it on his good side. That's close to 3 pounds right there. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Those kind of fish will add up. Nothing wrong with that, man. Got plenty of time to get this thing done. And it's amazing. That's momentum right there. That builds momentum. You catch a good fish like that, and it puts that's a good hour right there. Some hard-ass fishing in. Believe me, you'll slow down, fish just a little bit better after you catch one like that. It's just human nature. When you're not catching them, the fish a little fast and a little wrong, but when you are catching them and you get one like that, it slows you down. You know, it brings out the best in you, no doubt about it.
Terry Butcher's lead was short-lived. Mike Reynolds right there with that fish bumps him back, but there is so much more fishing left to go. Guy Eaker still in the mix, so is Jimmy Mize. And how about Mike Iaconelli? Started the day in first place, and now he's fallen all the way down to 5th. We got a lot more coming.
The CITGO Bass Insider.
At 65 years old, Guy Eaker is the oldest competitor on the CITGO Bassmaster Tour. Age, though, isn't something that has slowed this veteran one bit.
What sport can you go to in the United States and be 65 years old and still compete?
Currently, Eaker is having his best fishing year ever. His batting average is the second highest on tour this season at .562. And he's in a position to make a serious run at the CITGO Angler of the Year title, proving that age isn't a huge factor in this sport.
The Bass Insider has been brought to you by CITGO.
Right now, Guy Eaker in 4th place on this final day, but he's looking good in his quest to make the Classic at this point anyway. The man in charge right now, Mike Reynolds, started a few ounces back of Mike Iaconelli. Now he holds the lead. Jerry McInnes is out, seeing what's going on with Mike Reynolds.
I guess Mike Reynolds is about as far away as any of the anglers. He's probably 25 miles from home, 25 miles from the takeoff spot. He got here by coming up the Savannah River, all the way up to the Broad River. Made a left into the Broad River, and then not very far from there is this little creek called Cootie Creek, and he's back. You see him way back in there. Mike is obviously a big threat to win this event. He's had a spectacular 3 days of qualifying, has had a hold of a big fish every single day, and that's what has really kept him in the running.
There's one. That's a good one. Oh, it's a nice one. It ain't huge, but it's a good one. It's one I gotta have. Pound .75. Nice fish. Spinnerbait, water's warming up, number 4. He ain't huge, but boy, am I ever darn glad to have him, because they are tough to come by today. Took that Colorado blade about halfway back to the boat. Pockets up, water's up to 52.3. Let's hope they're starting to move in. That's number 4. everything's working fine for me right now. I'm real happy with the way the day's going. I'm not catching a giant fish. They didn't make it easy on me, but I'm still right in this thing, man. I feel really good. I got 2.5 hours of fish. The water's up to almost 53 degrees in here. Things are happening. It's going Mike's way right now. I feel good about it. I really do.
He's staying right here. Boy, he's spending most of his time right in this one little area here. Has made no secret about it. Said right off the bat where he was fishing and talked about how he's really sticking to it.
Well, that was Jerry McInnes with our leader, Mike Reynolds, there in Cootie Creek. Now we're going over to Jimmy Mize. Jimmy is sticking with that clear water. He's on the east side of the main lake where he has been all day long, right across from where Mike Iaconelli's been fishing, about 15 minutes from the takeoff point. Jimmy Mize, one of those guys who is climbing up the Angler of the Year points board at this point in the season, helping his cause for getting into the Classic, helping his cause for solidifying a spot in the Elite 50. Now let's get over to David Wharton. He started out, of course, in Hart Creek. We saw him fishing clear water. Now he's moved out and up Big Creek to the point where he's in the muddy water right now.
We haven't had a bite out of those good-looking laydowns yet, have we?
David Wharton, it's been a while since we've seen him, and pretty much everything has changed. The wardrobe, the location, maybe even the technique, Denny.
I love his move back to the dirty water. He's making repeated casts, which you have to do with these cold water fish. They're hard to catch. And one thing about that dirty water, when the sun's shining, it warms up a little bit more, makes those fish a little more active.
David's already moved from 6th to 5th place. This could bump him up even more.
That'll work. About 3 pounds. All we had to do is whine and cry about not catching one out of laydown. Then what do? We catch one.
We keep talking about these huge crowds both at the weigh-in and on the water. And on the water, Mike Iaconelli's probably got the biggest one, so big it also includes Jerry McInnes.
Tell me, what is the attraction of coming out here? Why, are you actually trying to learn something, or is it just kind of a happening and you need to be part of it?
Kind of both, yeah. It's just something, you know, that ain't never happened in this lake since I've been fishing it, and it's an experience I don't want to miss. I think everybody out here is the same way. They want to see these guys come back to this lake. And the best way to do that is probably show support.
And have you been lucky enough to see him go Iaconelli on you yet?
No, he hadn't went crazy on us yet. I hope he catches a big one so we get to see the scream and the fall down and the windmill at the front of the boat, but he hasn't done that yet.
All right, back over to Mike Iaconelli. We haven't got a chance to see him go Ike yet today. Could he be getting onto something here, Denny?
I think the wind was really the key to his success earlier in the week. And as you can notice, the wind has picked back up, and it's probably the reason they're starting to bite a little bit for him. So it may not be over yet.
It's not too late. Get closer, please. Not too late. It's not too late. Come on. We gotta start fishing like a banshee, man. Yeah. Whoa, baby. That's it. Keep blowing.
Mike Iaconelli, it looks like maybe, finally today, he's gotten something going on, but it's incredible, Denny, to watch the number of boats, and we mentioned this before, that are following him around. The other anglers have huge flotillas of boats, giant crowds back at the weigh-in. This is a community that I wasn't aware of it, is really into pro bass fishing.
Normally, we only see that at the Classic, but the huge crowds on the water, but they're very well behaved. They're staying back off the anglers, not interfering with their fishing. What more can you ask?
They're biting, they're turning on. I can do this. It's not too late. Hate to be cliche, but never give up, man. It's not too late, Michael. I ain't out of this yet. Don't count me out of this yet, brother.
Well, the positive attitude at last. Now for Mike Iaconelli, he still may have a long way to go. Maybe the guy to watch is Terry Butcher, maybe Jimmy Mize, but Mike Reynolds, the guy in the lead right now. He's got one more fish left to go.
Got 4, 1 more to go, baby. Come on.
Final period of fishing in the final day of competition here at Clarks Hill Reservoir. Mike Reynolds in the lead at this point, and you would not believe the crowd we have gathered back at the weigh-in site. It is going to be a big one, and it looks like it's going to be a close one as well. Let's get to Jimmy Mize.
Anytime you seen birds working, you was guaranteed you was gonna catch them. And that's what you look for. You know, if these fish would read these fishing magazines more, we'd catch fish here. A windy point. Birds were flying around here, so we know bait was here. And no wonder I wasn't catching fish. Got a guy from Tennessee following me, right? Wear a Tennessee shirt for good luck. That's just unpatriotic.
I don't know if by unpatriotic he means the guy should be wearing a Georgia Bulldogs t-shirt. Jimmy's a big Razorbacks man, too, so it could be some of that in there as well. Jimmy working that Carolina rig this morning.
Yeah, for the folks that don't know, Tommy, the Carolina rig, you got a sinker, you have a swivel, about a 3-foot leader, and I think he's fishing a lizard behind it, which is kind of just floating above, back behind that sinker. He's working it real slow along the bottom.
What are the conditions that are perfect for a Carolina rig?
When the fish are a little bit deeper, when they're scattered, you can cover more water with that bait.
Woo, yeah. Thank you, Lord. I guess they wanted something to look different from that little old worm, didn't they? Oh. Thank you, Lord. Oh, yes. Boy, isn't that amazing? Throw in there all day long. They hadn't changed baits first cast.
Back now again to our rookie, Terry Butcher from Talala, Oklahoma, just north of the Tulsa area there. He is already guaranteed the best finish ever for him with the Bassmasters. He's never finished higher than 25th place, and that was at the Open Championship at the end of last year down at the Ouachita River in Monroe, Louisiana.
Something really interesting, Tommy. You see that little red or orange kicker blade that he's got on that spinnerbait? Excellent color in muddy water. Just kind of an extra attractant. Helps the fish find the lure.
Someone told me that's, you find that with the Oklahoma guys a lot.
A lot of them Oklahoma guys fish that spinnerbait combination. It may be because they fish a lot of dirty water over there.
A few hours back, Jimmy Mize started catching fish, and he has continued to catch fish, and he's becoming more and more a factor in the final hour of this tournament.
There we go. It's a little bigger than what I got in there.
With that one, Jimmy Mize takes the lead in this tournament, which means Mike Reynolds got to have one more. There's just a few minutes of fishing left. It's getting tight.
Okay. I'm gonna go fish where I have not fished yet. That's what we're gonna do. We got a half an hour less.
Got 4, 1 more to go, baby, come on.
This has got potential right here. I haven't seen anything like this in my cove at all. This is different. And that's what you're always looking for as a bass fisherman, something a little different. Come on. Come on, sweetie. Be there. Be there. One bite could be the difference. Come on. Be there. Come on, sweetie. Be there.
It's keeper. I love these guys from Georgia. Okay, I'm on it. It only weighed a pound.
They shrunk a little bit today, but it just feels good to make the right decision at the end of the day. Even though it's a little bitty bass, it's still your fifth fish. I decided to come fish a cove that I haven't even fished yet, you know, and I looked in here and it looks good. It's got different type of structure than I've seen anywhere else. But it just feels good to make the right decision. I mean, it's only a pound, but I've seen it where a pound is worth 100,000 or 20,000, or you just never know. So that could be, who knows what that fish means.
Benny Brower, our weights are unofficial, but what we have right now tells us that the top two guys are tied, and we're going to find out why they have weigh-ins right now.
This is going to be an awesome weigh-in, and with a huge crowd, it's going to get really exciting in a hurry.
Speaking of huge crowds, we've got one on hand. We've had them all week long, and Jerry McInnes is in the thick of this one.
I've got some visits I got to try to take care of. These folks want to see a winner. We'll get to that in a minute. We had a winner last week in the non-boater division. 3 days of competition. Your winner was Chris Snow from McMinnville, Tennessee. David Hernandez from Birmingham, 8 pounds and 5 ounces. Caught that fish on a sweet beaver. Tommy and Denny, I don't know if they're gonna wait for you all or not. Good luck.
We better hang on to your standing room spot there, Jerry. They look kind of hard to come by. Man, this crowd, you think they're excited now. We're about to have the tightest weigh-in of the year. That's when we come back. Don't go away.
The CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail is brought to you by Toyota, Motor Guide, Mercury Marine, and Cialis.
The final day at Clark's Hill started out as a great opportunity for Mike Iaconelli to add to his win column. But despite the classic-sized flotilla of followers, things just never went anywhere for Mike. So it became a battle between Mike Reynolds, who, thanks to a huge bass on day 3, started in second just a few ounces behind Iaconelli, and Jimmy Mize, who had a 3.5-pound deficit to make up. It's been Mize who's had the best day. His best fish erased the deficit, put him on equal footing with Reynolds. But Reynolds has been steady, not panicking, and he has caught his limit, which is what he had to do. And back at the weigh-in in Wildwood Park, the perfect weather and a pent-up demand for big-time fishing has brought out a huge crowd, spilling out of the weigh-in area and filling the expo midway. David Wharton has had a good day, but just had too much ground to make up. He finishes in 4th. Next up, Guy Eaker. For him, today was a setback, a 6th-place finish. But the week was a big step forward for his ultimate goal this year.
Well, I want to be the oldest guy to ever make the Classic, 65 years old.
We got a limit of 5, my friend.
Terry Butcher. What a week for the rookie. Sometimes it seems even overwhelming.
It's just been a whirlwind for me. It's just been great.
Butcher would wind up 3rd. Jimmy Mize is ready to go. And if he wins this one, he's ready with a plan.
Probably quit work the first meal, finally.
Mike Reynolds, for a guy who's a bit intense most times, seems as relaxed as possible under the circumstances.
You know, I fished hard. I got 5. I'm proud of them. It was tough, though. I mean, I covered a lot of water in there today. I fished smart. I didn't get paranoid, didn't panic, just couldn't get the job done.
Hand in, 2 hands in, and 2 big bass.
Mize is on stage with Reynolds watching in the wings.
His base 9-6 to take the lead. 11 pounds and 11 ounces. And Jimmy Mize moves to the top of the leaderboard.
I just got the butterflies, you know what I mean? Just now. I mean, I can take a second or whatever. I've done it before. Man, oh man, a win is everything, you know. A win would change my life. It would change my life.
Your brand new leader.
You know, I thought I'd lost for sure. I probably have, but it's close. One other bite.
8-6 is the number to hit. Mike Reynolds says that second would be okay, but that's not hard to see through. He's ready to lay his cards on the table.
8 pounds and 6 ounces to take the lead. Jimmy, how you feeling over there?
Not too good.
Not too good. 8-6 to take the lead. 8 pounds, 10 ounces. Oh my. 8 pounds and 10 ounces, and now Mike Reynolds moves into first place.
He only has to get by Iaconelli to get his first win.
You only got 2. They're going to go 3 pounds and an ounce. But that means that Mike Reynolds is your champion.
It's official now. Iaconelli is gracious.
It's his moment, you know? I mean, I give it up to Mike.
And it is his day. And a day for everyone who's pulled for Mike Reynolds through the years.
This is my favorite lake and my favorite town. Thank you. What a crowd. Thank you.
Good for Mike. He did have a lot of people pulling for him. The crowd likes that. He's going to be a popular winner.
What a great win for a super nice guy. One thing that really stood out, it was a super tough day, but yet he kept his composure, never ever panicked. and I think that's the reason he won.
Absolutely. Mike Reynolds, congratulations to you. Also, congratulations to you for sneaking into the top 6 on our batting averages list. Let's take a quick look at that. Mike Reynolds moving into the 6th spot, and Guy Eaker, no surprise there, our Toyota Horizon Award. The angler who has improved the most since last season, Jay Kendrick on top there. Frank Scalish getting closer and closer, and watch out for Stephen Browning. Our Toyota Rookie of the Year race, Andre Moore has ruled that one all year long, but David Wallach knocks him out as of this Clarks Hill tournament. The Bush Shootout is coming at the end of the season as well. The top 10 stringers of fish throughout the year. Our CITGO Angler of the Year standing so important as we get closer to the regular season's end. And Terry Scroggins holds on to that top spot there. Jimmy Mize, based on his performance today, moves into 2nd place there. We got Stone, Mike Iaconelli there in good shape as well. And look at the 2 guys who started at the top of the list. Takahiro Omori in 20th place now. Gerald Swindle was right up there as well as we came into this tournament. He's all the way down into 24th place, but that is subject to change as well. Randy Blockett gets blocked out, and our guys on the bubble for points, the 27th place. The last man into the E50 at this point is going to be Mike Warren with Harold Allen and Aaron Martins right on top of him. And all those changes are going to start in 2 weeks from now when the tour hits Lake Norman in North Carolina. And Denny Brower, based on your past performances at Lake Norman, I'm calling Denny a factor on that one, all right?
Well, I appreciate that, Tommy. The lake has got a lot of boat docks, just like my home lake, Lake of the Ozarks. Water's going to be cold, probably going to be a jig bite. I'm excited about it.
Look out for him and those boat docks. We'll find out how it all goes down at Lake Norman when we see you next time here on the CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to Bassmaster.com.